Hey, folks, welcome to the Mañana morning check-in. This is a bonus episode on a Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. It is June 19th, 2021. For a lot of you, it might be Father's Day weekend. And for a lot of you, you might be thinking, how can I escape from this family for the whole weekend? So this is like a bonus round. I thought I would be productive this morning. I thought I'd try and get something done since I'm not mountain biking today. There's some other priorities in life that come over mountain biking sometime, and I'm trying to exercise those priorities today. But I talk about silver linings and overcoming obstacles and finding a way and all those things a lot. I go to get productive. I go to sign into my brand new Lenovo 9 laptop. It's been a pretty good workhorse for about 2 months. 2 months, and something's up with the charger and the connection to the laptop. I started working, computer shut down, so that's weird. So I look over and battery's dead, no power. Well, that's weird because it's been plugged in. It's a laptop, but it's really stationary for me. I barely ever move it, right? So it's not from abuse. It's not from being dropped. It's not from anything other than it's just not working today. So playing with the charger, got it turned off, cycling the power. Felt a lot of heat coming from the laptop. So who knows? Maybe I got a power supply that's whacking out on me or something like that. So 2 weeks before I bought the Lenovo 9, I bought a Lenovo 7, right? And the reason I got the 9 was because the 7 wouldn't edit video worth a darn. But other than that, it was a good computer. It just wouldn't edit video. I do a lot of video content. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll keep the 7 because I got a good deal on it. I bought it on sale at Best Buy, so I'll keep it and I'll get the 9. I get the 9. Here we are 2 months later, and it's not working. So sure, there's tons of options, right? Like I could see if the warranty's available, all this other stuff. But I'm like, hey, that doesn't help me be productive today. So I signed into the 7, which I haven't used in about 2 months. Oh my goodness. Updates. Sign into this, sign into that, relog into Google. So I go to line into Google. You've changed your password 54 days ago. That's not the right password. That's not the right password. That's not the right password. I know it's the right password. So, and I'm going through my notes. I put it in like the fourth or fifth time. All of a sudden it takes. I'm like, what's going on? Something weird is going on. So I get the right password into Google, which then says I can sign into my Microsoft account. I go to sign into my Microsoft account. Then my Lenovo account pops up and says, would you like to use the Lenovo something, 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 sign into that? And I'm like, I'm not signing into 19 things to check email. And so sure enough, I ended up signing into like 5 things to be able to open the browser and check my email. And I'm thinking somewhere along the line, the manufacturers of all these different products that are tracking us and putting cookies on us and selling our data and all of this, somewhere along the line, they justify this and think that it's for the better good, that they're helping us use their products better or something. I get all the way to where I want to be productive. Basically today, I'm going to propagate somebody's developed website over to their URL. And that takes a day or two sometimes for it to actually happen. So I was like, well, you know what? I'll sign in on Saturday and and that'll give it, the weekend to propagate. And then by Monday, hopefully we can take a look at it and make any necessary changes, things like that. Any combination of username and password they gave me to get into the account that registers their URL does not work. And I don't want to keep trying because I don't want to lock them out of the account. But it's weird because the same thing happens with my wife. Every time I give her a new piece of equipment and she's got to, put in her Google and put in her Microsoft and all that. Anytime I give her a new piece of equipment and I say, okay, here you go. And I think she'd be thrilled because she's getting something new. It actually turns out to be a burden, right? Because she's not good with passwords. She's a brilliant woman, but she's not good with passwords. And I find that a lot of my customers aren't good with passwords. I can't explain it. Like there's a mental block that nobody seems to understand, that there's a username and a password to just about everything that you want to use. Now, whether you keep those notes in, OneNote, uh, Evernote, I had a friend that worked at Ducati that had a sheet of paper taped to the top of his laptop that had all those usernames and passwords written on it. I don't necessarily recommend that. But folks, and I'm saying this with the most kindness in my heart that I can muster, you need, must, everybody, not just if you're going to have work done, or not just if you're going to bring in a contractor, not just if you need to have an organized way to track your usernames and passwords. Because think about Andrew S. Oakes and what he talks about in stress reduction. And he talks about the concept of, if you just take care of these easy niggling things, it can release so much more energy to attack the bigger problems. It's almost like Dave Ramsey talking about attacking your debt, right? A lot of people say, well, go after your highest interest rates first, and Dave Ramsey says, no, go after your smallest debts first. Pay off all your smallest debts. And then you can snowball that momentum into paying off bigger debts and feeling like you're getting ahead, right? I will tell you the same thing when it comes to a lot of this techie stuff that I do online for folks. More times than not, so I'm not picking on my current client at all, because they're not alone. More times than not, my clients have no clue how to access any of the tools or products that they bought previous to working with me. And so that ends up sending us, because now I'm part of this team, right? Sends us down a rabbit trail of trying to recover lost passwords from companies that want to, like it with Google. If you were to send in a request right now to reset your Google password, you wouldn't be able to get into your Google account for the next 2 to 3 days minimum, because they're going to take 48 hours to send you an email with a link with something, and they send you a thing that says, we need this time to verify that it's really you and all this kind of stuff, right? So do yourself a favor right now. If you're watching this, when this video is done, immediately open up some tool that you have easy access to. I got to make this, I'm not trying to tease you, I'm not, but whether it's OneNote, Evernote, Google Drive, there's a lot of password utility programs out there. But I find that to use a password utility program, you typically need a username and a password for that, right? So, but find a tool that you like and organize all of your digital asset access information, usernames, passwords, URLs, websites, clubs, groups, communities, forums, anything that you're a part of. Put it in there. It's going to seem trivial. When you're doing it, you're going to be like, this is stupid. Then every time you sign up for something new, add that to that list right on the spot. It should be something that you can pull up. That's why I say OneNote, right? Because OneNote for me is connected to all my devices, right? I can access OneNote with my fingerprint in my phone. So if I screw it up on a laptop, I can still get in with my fingerprint on the phone. And you can get your information to get access to what it is that you need. I'm going to give you a for instance that's in my own life. We have AT&T internet at my house. Now, I've always had my own websites, my own email addresses, my own everything. So I don't have whatever that AT&T spectrum.com.net, whatever it is, email address. I have no idea what that is. We signed up for it 5.5, 6 years ago when we moved into this house. And they had just put out some email last week that was like, hey, sign in now and get this benefit and this, that, and the other thing. And I was like, oh, I'll check that out. Boop. And then it goes, sign into your AT&T internet account. What? Right? So here I am making this message for you. But I want to let you know you're not alone. We're all guilty of it. Somehow, some way, we've all got a stumbling block somewhere online. Now, when I used to teach technicians how to fix motorcycles, I would say, hey, are you pretty good at this now? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you kind of confused at some of the technologies? Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think motorcycles are going to get simpler or more complex as time goes on? Oh, it's going to get more complex. Yeah. So let's dive in deep now with what we know, right? Let's get ourselves at least to an even keel with current technology so that we can brace ourselves and get ready for when it moves forward. And that's that. Happy Saturday.